Before we insert data into our tables, you need to know that you can also alter your table structure. Now we can do that using the alter table statement. Now the alter table statement has quite a few parameters that you can use, where you can add columns, drop columns, or modify current columns within your table. Then we'll go into having a look at inserting data into our table, and then we'll have a look at a few queries to actually get MySQL to give you data back and to actually query data that is inside your table. So let's head over to MySQL Workbench again, and then we'll go and have a look at some practical examples. So first we'll have a look at the alter table statement, in the sense that we want to add a column. So first we'll say alter table. We need to specify which table. So let's say the cars table. We need to specify that we want to add a column. Then we need to give that column a name, which in this case we'll say model. And then we need to tell MySQL what data type we are going to add into that column. End with a semicolon, Control-Shift-Enter. Alright, so it says that the query has been executed. Then we can do use the describe statement, describe cars, Control-Shift-Enter, and there you'll see it's added the model column. Next we'll have a look at the alter statement when we would like to modify a column. Now you might wonder what modify you would use, or what you would use modify for. So let's just get this right. Alter table, we'll use cars, and let's say for example we would like to change the amount of variable characters that we can enter into a certain column. So let's choose models column, and then we'll say let's modify that so that it becomes a varchar 20. Control-Shift-Enter. Seems like it's executed fine. Let's use the describe statement, cars. Now, as you'll notice, when using MySQL Workbench, it is not case sensitive, but it is good practice to do that from the beginning. Then we can see here the model column has now been changed to a varchar 20. So that would be how you modify different data types, and let's call it the parameters of the specific fields within your table. And then lastly, we'll use the alter table statement, cars. We'll use it to remove a column. Let's just get the case sensitivity right. Drop model, and this is a varchar 20. Let's try that again. I don't think we need to actually specify the data type. Alright, so when you drop a field from your table, you don't need to specify the data type. So let us describe the table, and they will see that the field model has now been removed. Then next we'd like to insert some data into our table. Now that we do by using the insert into statement. So insert into, we need to specify which table we'd like to insert it into. So in this case it will be cars. And then we need to specify within parentheses which columns we would like it to affect, or which fields. So in this case, remember we set up the ID column so that it will auto increment. So we don't need to worry about it, but we do need to specify in our insert into statement that we don't want to affect that field. So we just want to affect the make field. We'll close the parentheses, and then you need to say to MySQL, next we are going to insert the values. Now when inserting a string, you need to encapsulate it in a single quotation mark. So first let's enter a Ferrari. Closing brackets, semicolon to terminate your statement, Control-Shift-Enter. And it shows us that the query has been executed without any problems. Then we can do this a few times. We actually want to add a few different cars, so let's do that again. Porsche, Control-Shift-Enter. Lamborghini, let's just get the spelling right. And lastly, we'll add a Bentley. If only this was my car collection. Alright, so we've added some data into our database, which we've only affected the make field. Now we'd like to query the database. Now we'll do that by using the select statement. Now a select statement is something that you'll use very, very frequently in MySQL in different manners. So we'll use a select statement followed by the columns that we would like it to affect. Now there is a wildcard that you can use, which is a star, which basically says that it needs to select all. Then we need to say from where and specify the table name. So from cars, Control-Shift-Enter. It runs through it, and there we can see that it is output our query, or the output from our query now shows all the cars that we entered into the make field. And the ID field we didn't actually affect with our insert into statement, but because of the parameters we added onto the field where it was auto-incrementing, it would then automatically auto-increment each time a new row was added to the table, and you can see that that is the case. So there we've created our table. We have had a look at the alter table statement where you can modify, add and drop different fields, and then we have actually inserted data into our table.